Wow.
One person I've done this.
I know. No, but seriously, we sat down in roughly 2012, 2011, and we wanted to get a Rick Perry, Bill White debate, 2010, Bill White debate going. And 3 students sat down, and eventually I'm going to put it up, and some of you have seen it on a hard drive that we have. It's called The Witch Hunt. And the district didn't think they could do the job, so they brought him into the Fine Arts Building, and I sat these 3 young ladies up in front of this group of about 20 or 30 people, and I sat in the back. Eventually they got so rude to them, even though they answered every question and said they thought of that. I went up and sat next to them because I felt like they were being belittled, even though they had an answer to all the questions. So I do want to, and I'm glad she could make it today, I do want to welcome Megan Abel. She was seriously one of the first people involved in the So Megan, do you want to say anything, or we'll just go around the circle and then go to Russell?
Yeah, take it away, Russell.
Okay, so
Just say your name, rank, and serial number.
So I guess this was like fillintheblank notice plus 1 now. I don't know how that started, but so my name is Russell Steens, and many of you, I think everyone actually already knows me, except probably like a few. But yeah,
Wow.
I've been in week since like sophomore year, late in the year, and yeah, things are going pretty well. But I hope we can get some good insight from past members. I hope we can get some good insight on past few members for some of the upcoming projects that we have planned for this upcoming year.
Love you, Russell. Matt, real short, please.
Hi, I'm Liliana. This is my 2nd year.
Say it right, it's Lily.
Oh, you're right, Lily. Sorry, it's Lily.
I'm Natalia, and I have graduated.
I'm not in it anymore.
I'm Sydney, I'm also graduated. And I'm Stennis, and I'm also not in high school.
I'm Alyssa, and I'm a sophomore.
I'm Max, and I'm also a sophomore.
I'm Vivian, and I'm also a sophomore.
I'm Bianca, and I graduated.
I'm Haley, and I'm also a sophomore.
I'm Connor, and I'm a senior.
I'm Katrina, and I'm also a senior.
I'm Alana, and I graduated.
Diego graduated as well.
I'm Hannah, and I also graduated.
Gian graduated. I'm Melinda, also graduated.
Joe, I graduated. I'm Luis, and I graduated.
Yes, I'm Isham. I'm a freshman.
All
I'm
right.
Gracie, I'm a junior. I'm Jen, and I'm a junior. I'm Karis, graduated.
Oh, wow.
And then way in the back there, who snuck in a little later.
I'm Austin, I also graduated.
Excellent, guys. Get some treats. We had it as a potluck only because I wanted to use my Got Pot emblem. I mean, isn't it great? What?
You said us all to bring the same thing.
But everyone's always turned me down. I kind of have free reign right now to do that. All right, guys. A very recent motto of mine. We got a lot of things to do today. We got debates coming up, and we got to get them off the ground. We got borderized, any insight from anyone that was before, that's coming up. And just general other things that we want to achieve, and hopefully one of the person that I think created probably the most innovative project since borderized, hopefully he will show up and pitch a challenge to all the we haven't to go to their universities and accomplish what we want to achieve. I adopted a new motto recently, and I kind of like it. I say, blow people's mind. Okay, when we're in meetings, do whatever you can, take whatever risks you need, blow people's minds, but try not to ruffle their feathers. However, it's kind of really easy to ruffle people's feathers. All right? Today, unfortunately, I might ruffle some of yours. All right? Just real briefly, I've been at Coronado for 16 years. I've been able at Coronado to take incredible risks. Sometimes they get me into trouble. I've been in trouble once or twice. Sometimes they don't get me into trouble, but with risk-taking, you get great results. This is a great result in a risk-taking. This developed, even though I did it before when I was at Canutillo and when I was at Santa Teresa, this group came together. Thank you, Megan. This group came together and now is considered a very legitimate organization. We are so legitimate that the kind folks at El Paso del Norte allow us, they do two things for us. They house our money and they house us.
You finally worked out the money thing.
We worked out the money
That's
thing.
amazing.
They also have given us a permanent phone line. I don't know if it's in effect yet. And it's a mailing address which things can be mailed to us when we get them. It is the idea of pushing risk which brings me up to the announcement I'm going to make today. On December 14th, I took a half morning off, ditching my 6th period class when we were supposed to have a review. I went down to the central office and I gave them a letter. And I'm going to read this letter to you now, to whom it may concern. It is with a heavy heart and much contemplation that effective January 3rd, 2018, I will retire from educating the students at EPISD in the state of Texas. It is very difficult for me to give up what I love so much. I retire at a point in my career when I still believe I can make a difference. It has come to my realization over the past few months that my educational goals are no longer aligned with the goals of the administration. I thank all of those who have supported my success during my career. When you go back to school on Tuesday, for the people that are in school, I will not be there. You will walk into an empty portable. The reasons why I left are pretty simple. First of all, if you're doing a job for survival, it is not worth doing. Right? If all you're doing is looking around and not taking any risks and doing it for survival, it's not worth it. If no one values the sacrifices you make, then it's not worth making those sacrifices. I want to donate my time now to We Fill in the Blank. I don't know how we're going to do it. I don't know if I've ruffled so many feathers by this statement that I just made today that I lose some of the seniors, and I've always joked with the seniors and say they're not a valuable thing to have. In order for this to be successful, we need the support from the We Heaven. And we also need the support from the seniors, the juniors, the sophomores that are here. This can make it. This city needs this organization. There is no other organization like this in this city that it is all student driven. All right? So now we got to find a way how we can keep it going. Over the summer, I worked to try to make sure we had a place to exist. Do we have a place to meet? Yes, here. Is this a feasible place to meet on a regular basis? I don't know. We have our first debate coming up with the Republican candidates for the congressional, United States congressional seat of Texas 16 on February 27th. Is it 27th? And then on January 27th. January 27th, just a few short deals away. And then we also have another debate, a big debate, which is going to be the scariest debate on the planet, on February 13th, in which Veronica Escobar and Dory Fennenbach and they have all committed, guys. I would sure hate to say, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I would, guys, what?
I'll be there.
Guys, I need your support. Even though there are some seniors in this classroom that will walk into a classroom on Thursday with a sub that has no clue. And I apologize for that. But the only way that the district is going to be held accountable for what they do is if people stand up and say, no more. All right, guys, for the next 5 minutes, roughly, if anyone has any questions on why I made that decision, I will speak freely. When I go to school tomorrow, because I have to be at school all day, when I go to school tomorrow, I'm going to have on a piece of paper what I'm going to say. There are a few teachers that I will unload on that are ready to leave. And trust me, if you're still at Coronado right now, there are a lot of teachers that have gone bail. Right, they do, I hate to tell you that. Miss Mendez left you, and now I leave you, and I apologize for that. Anyone have any questions or comments? Hopefully I didn't ruffle too many feathers. But I will, and I'm on camera, and this is going on YouTube, so if you want me to say something that's going to get me in trouble, this is the only place. I will not meet with another group. This is the most important group to me. I've known about this since May 15th. When I was called into my principal's office and I was told that I was going to lose an ethics class, basically because I don't give hundreds. That's why I lost. And then on August 17th, when they could have logically given it back to me, they did not. Any, go ahead.
So I would just say, are there any folks here who had your class for IB history?
Right now, yes.
IB history right now?
No,
So for y'all seniors who are preparing for your IB history test, I would really encourage you, if you want my email, if you want my phone number, I've been through that experience. If you want to reach out for a little extra guidance, I'm sure if you reached out to this fool over here and asked for some help, he would help you. I would just urge you, we're here to support you. And I know this is, I'm just hearing about this.
If one of the IB seniors can set up a review session at a location in April, I will drag Warswood kicking and screaming to that review session, and we will give you the best shot we can give you.
Yeah, so please make use of the resources you have. I know this is a little scary, but like I said, I've been through that before. It's been freaking forever since I did it, but I can dig out some old notes and stuff, so.
No, speaking on that, we are recent veterans. We were
Yeah, so
last
you
year
probably
veterans.
have better, oh,
That's all
better.
it's mentioned out of it, so.
They probably have a better idea what you're doing.
And like to add to that, I mean, there should be a spreadsheet on the Google Drive where it's like all of the
Yeah, we
past
just put in a
read
bunch of
along.
information
So
on that, so
any one of us is happy to help with anything.
So just remember how to write. That's all you.
I don't know if two people, then we gotta get back to serious business. In May last year, or June last year, I sat down with Diego and Ish and said, what would you guys have done if I would have bailed on you in January? Because it was already in stone that day. And if anyone wants to question my resolve, just contact Warswood. Because after the meeting in May, I said, the line has been drawn, and I went with it. Guys, it was the scariest thing in the world for me to do. If anyone thinks retirement is exciting, don't fool yourself. I spent the last week in my room cleaning my room. I have a pile of trash that's probably about 5 feet high in the middle of the room, and I still have already taken out 27 boxes.
What about your head?
Heads, I'm choosing the best 15 to take on my, as I think, Bianca. I'm gonna pick on Bianca, because she once made a statement that I was walking around with a shopping cart, and I bumped into the portable and it was vacant, so I occupied it. And because I was living in it, they thought they would populate it with students and I could teach it. I have now filled up my shopping cart and moved on, waiting to bump into another portable.
what about the red square?
It's gonna stay, it's gonna stay. But I'm gonna take down the whiteboards, and people are gonna see natural light in that room for the first time in 5 years. Yes.
If you decide to trash my mouth, can I keep it?
Yes, if I try to trash your mouth, but I might not trash your mouth. Because you're the one that started it all by saying, oh, instead of doing a final exam, why don't we just make
I
it?
praise you. I praise you.
Some guys, some heads deserve to be trashed.
I don't know. Lizard Hitler is pretty good.
No, that was the keeper.
No,
Hitler's a keeper.
Ted Cruz needs to be trashed. Ted Cruz. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say, in like all seriousness, you know, like I've always very much respected you as a person, as an educator, and I respect your decision. And if there's people that like don't agree with it, then that's their problem. And I feel that, I know that you're in a very difficult situation, and there's going to be a lot of people that are telling you that you didn't do the correct decision, and that like how dare you abandon these kids. But I think that you know what you did and how you did it, and you just have to keep reminding yourself that even when things get difficult, and you have all of us behind you, even when because people are going to go after you and they're going to do what they do. And I just want to let you know that all of us are behind you, and we all respect your decision because we respect you and what you've done for us.
Thank you.
Another comment, just remember that you still have responsibility.
None.
Because it's gonna be hard without you there, and, just providing maybe some weekends.
Anytime someone sets up a place where we can review and meet, and people are hearing it now, I will be there on the weekend.
Because the subs won't be able to
No.
accomplish what you did for all of us, I think. So, just keep that in mind, that they are still your students for the last semester.
And I'm not gonna promote, I'm not gonna instigate anything, but there has to be a conversation at the school. Is that instigating it?
No, well, I don't know, I have no idea what the question was, sorry. So are you gonna be the one to tell the rest of our classmates, or is it up to us to tell them?
I could send out a remind, say, see ya. Guys, this is very hard for me. I'm telling you this right now. This is very hard. Ladies, introduce yourself and then we'll get your statements.
I'm Chelsea. Hi, I'm Myra. Both of us go to UT.
All right.
I do think your students deserve to hear from you. I don't think they deserve to just walk into an empty portable and not know what's
How fun would that be? I'm sure people have already tweeted out that I'm not coming back.
Oh my God.
That's started yet. I called Mr. Folk this morning, Mr. Folk, a close friend of mine, at 8 o'clock and told him to call me. I texted him. He called me and I told him I was gone. He was very sad that I was going to leave, but hey, it
I
happened.
think, but listen, I'm in position board to collect my sophomore year.
They got rid of Oregon.
I know that.
All right.
Your students deserve to hear from you.
Should I step in illegally one day and just say, hey,
No,
goodbye?
you send out an email, I don't know what it is, but they just deserve the shock of walking.
Well, my whiteboards are going open.
I know, they don't deserve the shock of them walking into an empty portal.
So should I send, I think most of them are gonna know by the time this meeting's
But
over.
they still deserve a goodbye from you and
All
a
right.
thank you for their
You need to tell them what all the things they have to do. Regardless of me, you have to as someone to tell them that you will be there for them. I know you can tell these people, but the amount of anger they will feel when they walk in and there's no teacher.
How cool would it be? You know how white that
It will be hilarious.
is? God look with me.
I'm not into papers that fly. Just imagine.
If anyone wants to come to my portable farm and go through my trash pile, you're all welcome.
So this is what happened to me this year. I don't know if you heard, but we were left basically without a US certificate. They brought in one that didn't quite have like the curriculum down, and she ended up being removed or left a couple months ago. So we have a new one now who's like still catching up with the curriculum. So we're like about 3 weeks behind, and it was really hard to get through the transition and the new teaching styles. So I just hope that like when you pass down the torch, you think of like those like who aren't going to have like the advantage of being top at you.
I do apologize. I think everyone that my webpage went down about the same day that I turned in. It wasn't accidental.
Wait, did you lie to Emily?
I lied to everybody. Because guys, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I wanted you guys to be the first to know. I wanted you guys, because the only thing that kept me going the last semester was we fill in the blank. The students, yeah, the students are always fun. I had a good time in class, but if you were in my classrooms, anytime the door creaked, I looked around the corner to see who was watching me. One week, until my wife told me to take it off, one week I was wearing a staple remover around the lanyard, because if you're removed in EPISD, they send you over to the central office and you take staples out of CUNA folders, which is your records that you've had since you entered EPISD. When you graduate, they get all shipped over to central office, and someone, Warswick, took out staples. So I thought, and I went around telling people that it was brand new, it was in the carton, it was unopened, and you had to be certified to open it, and I believe that someday I would have been certified to open it. So, yeah. So, guys, I promise you that we have another member, and I'm glad that he has shown up. Thank you for coming. Introduce yourself. Just say, hi, I'm Dick Poe.
Hi, I'm Dick Poe. I'm Esteban Mesa. I'm a senior.
Do we have another chair?
No,
Nobody's using that. You can squeeze in here if you want. You can sit at the head of the table. All right, guys. Any other comments that want to? Yes.
I know we're talking about how everyone else is going to feel and all that. I think collectively, we all just want to thank you for everything you've done for all of us, whether it's academically or through me or whatever it is. Just thank you because you changed all of our lives.
Is that why we had to bring trees?
What?
like all set.
Yeah. I thought it'd sweeten you up a little bit. Oh, that would have been cool. Does everyone know what funeral jello is?
No.
It's a jello you put in a mold and you put fruit inside of it, and then you tip it over, and it's always at funerals. I was at a funeral this summer, and I made sure I brought funeral jello. Guys, we're gonna get, guys, if there's no other comments, and I thank you for all, guys, I hope we can keep this going. We got Isabella right now tweeting out, the world already knows. Really? And you still have to take your essay at 2:30. Yeah. If there's any other comments, I appreciate it. Guys, you are the ones that are going to have to move this forward. There are people that want this done. We had a lawyer, I talked to a lawyer this summer. This was early on, this was in June, the first part of June. And that person said that if we could not go under someone's umbrella, he recommended us going under an umbrella of an organization. He recommended the El Paso Community Foundation. He recommended whoever we could find. I mentioned El Paso del Norte, and I told him we already had our funds here. And Tracy Ellen, the CEO of this corporation, was kind enough to, I don't know what more she could have given us. A place to store our leftover t-shirts, maybe. A place to store our banners and our posters that we use for political. Guys, and this is because of your rude statement earlier this year at Thanksgiving. Where you said a lot of those posters underneath the altar were crap.
They are.
I went under the altar and I filled up a whole back of a minivan, from the bottom to the top with posters, and I brought them down to the recycle center in El Paso. And it was just, but I saved probably about 50 of them.
Were they good ones?
Of course they were.
You can't just especially carrots. I agree. Not when it comes to the arts and crafts.
But it was cool. There were dust bunnies under the altar that were the size of
Bunnies.
All right, I think you need to get back on track. You're at 11:45.
Yeah, we need to get back on track. I might turn it over to Russell right now. Russell and Ileana are in charge of the debates. maybe Ileana, because, can you do this really short?
Yeah, I can give
No, I don't think
I vote to veto.
Every time it says that.
Russell's such a precious human
He'll
being.
start
We're all
to
lucky to know him.
So basically, we have a total of 5 debates coming up. We don't know if they're all going to happen right now, but we're planning on having a county judge debate, a Democratic debate for the 2nd district, I believe, and a Republican debate for the 2nd district. 16. Well, yeah. Well, for congressional, and then we're
Yeah.
gonna have a Republican debate for the senatorial race between Beto and Ted Cruz. And then
We haven't got any response on that.
Sorry. It's gonna be a Republican. It's gonna be separate, Republican and Democratic, and so that's why there's like 5, but really there's only 3. So, but yeah. So that's happening, and it's gonna happen probably throughout the month.
And probably in January as well.
Yeah, probably.
And then as far as location goes, we're thinking of not using Coronado. We're trying to find a more centralized location, maybe I mean, UTEP is kind of hard to work with, but we're working on it. Or possibly the Chamber of Commerce or El Paso High, something that's more centralized.
And we actually talked to, I'm sorry.
No, just continue.
We actually talked, because Esteban recently started this, like, what was it called? 60?
He's gonna explain that.
Citizen 60 or whatever. And so we talked to a professor from UTEP, and we think that we might be able to hook up with because we've had issues with renovating, or not reserving places because we're not like an organization of UTEP itself. And so they're kind of like hesitant to give us like any like spots or positions. And so we were thinking of like banding up with like one of the political organizations there, and then working from their angle and saying, oh, we're doing this together rather than just like ourselves. I think that would work, but yeah.
I had a quick comment/project idea regarding the upcoming elections. I feel that a lot of the time, obviously increasing voter participation in like the county is extremely important. But as a person who is like able to vote now but living in another state, I find it very difficult. Like I honestly like don't know the voter like the absentee vote like process. And I feel that if we fill in the blank could reach out to college students from the district of El Paso and like guide them through the process or provide steps to registering to vote or like sending in an absentee vote that could increase the overall voter turnout of the county just by tapping into like the college aged youth that aren't living here. Because I kind of want to vote for in the congressional election, but like I'm very far away and I don't know how to do that.
Also, I registered super early, like for the actual like presidential election, and I didn't get my absentee ballot until like the week before the actual election, and I like filled it out in the mailroom and then just sent it in.
So like maybe you know like those like now this videos or like the how-to videos, just like cute graphics like step 1, go to this, step 2, go to this.
When
It's
I
almost gonna
heard
be-
the prototype of Civics in 60, I suggested that topic, so now that you're here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absentee voting is huge. The question is, do they even count the absentee ballot unless it's collected?
And they don't count unless you're within a margin of error.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, that's something that people need to be aware of. And I think that maybe they need to hold the Texas, because it's not every state. Maybe it's every state. Most states don't count them because it's too much of a hassle to count them. And it's really a hassle for you guys to do it because you have to, someone has to notarize or someone has to witness you voting. And they have to.
But also I have a very strong feeling that the congressional race is going to be very close. And if my absentee vote can help push it, then I'm going to do
It's
it.
gonna be super fun too, guys. It's gonna be,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a cat fight. No offense. Maybe a little. All right. Yes, sir.
There's an organization called TurboVote. They are fantastic. They'll give you every single link to the state that you're in. Obviously for El Paso, they'll give you the link to do it, and then they'll connect you with a lady named Rosa O'Keefe here in El Paso, and she'll send you all your absentee ballots. But it'd be a good organization. I think that's a great initiative, and I think you guys should probably, if you want to move forward with it, either reach out to them or
Reach out to who?
TurboVote.
Or should we reach out to the person in El Paso?
She's not very helpful, but
So terrible.
nothing against Miss O'Keefe, but it's called TurboVote, and they always have people at my university pushing people to vote absentee.
Cool deal. So yeah, guys, great idea, great point, and if someone wants to spearhead that, I don't know how much time. We have a few members. If any member really wants to get on that, we have to get on it. because the primary election is when? Is it? Are you sure?
Don't look at me as I'm reading.
I believe it's, is it March 6th?
When you usually have to request, it's either 30 or 60 days prior to the election that you have to request the ballot.
The absentee ballot?
Absentee, yeah. I
Right?
don't remember.
And I think we're at that point, but that point's coming up. Someone needs to research that, of those members that are here, if someone wants to get on it.
Yeah, I think it's too short for the primary, but if you want to do it for the general, you have to.
Yeah.
I think general's worth some.
Yeah. And that's next November. All right?
This November.
However, this November. However, the 16th district is gonna be decided on March 6th or whenever the runoff is. Because whoever wins the Democratic primary is gonna win the election. And the loser of the Democratic primary in the state of Texas cannot run as an independent after they have lost in the primary. So one of the two ladies are gonna be sitting on the sideline. All right? And neither one of them wanna be sitting on the sideline.
Isn't there 3 candidates?
There's 5 candidates or 6 candidates, isn't there? 6 Democratic candidates. One is Tillman. Some of you guys might have been taught by him at Moorhead. He used to walk around Moorhead saying, if you can answer this question, I'll give you $100. He ran in one of our previous elections. You know, unfortunately, unfortunately, one of our favorite candidates who likes to run all the time passed away. Pettis. Otherwise, he would have been in that race. Guys, there's 6 candidates. Guys, help me, because I'm willing to give time. Because I'm currently unemployed. I'm willing to give time. We need to have a meeting spot. Seth thinks we should meet at Whole Foods at the upper level. I don't know where to meet. I don't know. I have 2 keys to my portable. I suppose I could go into my portable and look a little suspicious, and I'd probably be arrested. That's right, guys. We need a place that we can meet. Because we have to finalize this location really soon, because we actually sent out invitations and they accepted us invitations on that day. The other thing we need to do that we haven't really done very well is get that team together and figure out how we're going to use the Socratic method.
Yeah.
We need to start researching those candidates.
There's like
And research is more than Google.
There's like a centrally located EPCC, like auditorium. I can't remember. We went to something where Beto was speaking there.
They have the administrative building.
Yeah, I think it was at the administrative building. They've held.
But that might be, that's a little ways over.
You
But
think that's too far over?
that's where we have borderized celebration at.
Do you have a venue for this one's debate?
Yes, Coronado.
Wow.
I think Coronado's gonna charge us now that they don't have a sponsor on campus. We could, but I don't think Folk would do it.
Barry would do it.
Keene would do it, Barry might do it, or Chavez. Yes.
I don't know what public library has really nice rooms that you can reserve online if you're short on time for meeting rooms.
Oh, okay. But how close is that? Could that be done? Guys, where do we meet?
The El Paso Public Library is like 5 blocks that way. Public library.
Which one, on Belvedere or the
No,
one?
the one is on-
My main
The
one.
one, the main branch here,
Oh,
if you want
oh,
to be
yeah.
downtown. It's
All right.
like- They have nice seats.
But is downtown, guys, is downtown a good place to meet? Some of you guys were shocked when you got up to the top of the ramp and it says $25 no per hour charge.
It's pretty nice.
No, not.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
No, I know it's not.
Yeah, guys, guys, we have a beautiful connection right now in Socorro, so I think we can expand into Socorro. We gotta find a way to communicate with each other. Me texting 90 times the same message doesn't work. Group me is ignored. Most people turn it off. We gotta find a way to communicate. We have to find a way, because we have to expand. Next year, I'm gonna be looking for a job in Las Cruces. All right? Really want Mayfield. Really want Mayfield. Simply because I want to support the Trojans. Continue?
What about Manatee?
That's Texas. I can't work in Texas for another year.
Oh.
Because I retired from the state of Texas. They're paying me not to teach. That's And because I had 70, 80 days, I get a good chunk of change from EPISD.
So, is there anything else about the debate to talk about? Because in 7 minutes, we're moving on.
Okay, we're moving on pretty quick. Guys, we need a venue and we need to be able to organize and we need a place to meet to talk about this because we need to get this done. If we blow a debate, that's our legitimacy. It's gone. Because that's the thing that gives us legitimacy.
If whoever's doing the Socratic for any of the debates, if you need Hannah, Shunk, and I's help at any point, we'd be more than happy to Skype in. I know Chidiak's here, but...
No, Chidiak's no longer here.
Just kidding. Well, we can Skype in. So it'll be fun.
He's back at UT.
So if you guys, if whoever, I don't know who's going to be doing it, but like our door's always open, I know. So
Absolutely.
please let me know.
And Austin, wasn't it you that had Beto on the ropes and then the fuse blew?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if I would say he was on the ropes.
Oh, I would say that's about as close as he ever's been on the ropes. He's pretty smooth. You gave him a question, he couldn't answer. And then, I think it was a conspiracy. I think he did that intentionally.
Okay, so of the folks, getting off track, of the folks who are still like actual students here, raise your hand if meeting at Whole Foods works. No, raise your hand if meeting at Whole Foods does not work for you. Cool. So y'all are meeting at Whole Foods up on the second level.
Can we try Thursday night?
Yeah.
Indoors or outdoors?
But you have to like reserve them.
No, I've done plenty of things. Just go up there.
Indoor or outdoor?
You just go up there?
You just go up there.
I've never been in there, so I guess I have to
So
enter.
You get a nice silver
current
Yes, you can even go on the outside staircase just.
if Thursday does not work for you, raise your hand.
Can you come back to Cornell? You were supposed to be this
Cool. So y'all are meeting second floor of Whole Foods on Thursday. What time?
4 o'clock? 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Put it in your calendar. Done. Next item.
All right. Next thing we need to talk about is Borderize. You're third on the agenda. Borderize, Saturday's event. Explain what's going on here in this room on Saturday morning.
Essentially,
Like
so the idea that we took on for Borderize this year was, well, we essentially broke it down into 4 steps, which is identifying the problem, researching, developing, and then implementing the solution. And the thing that we've always kind of had trouble with is identifying the problem. So we're having a group of community leaders, whether it be people from Borderplex, whether it be people from Chamber of Commerce, just kind of a wide variety of people in this community in the border region come together and try and like pinpoint an idea or an issue that these 8th graders could solve so that it's not so like abstract, because that's kind of what's been the issue in the past. And so this Saturday from 9:30 to about 1, is that what we said? Yeah, we're having that round table here, and we're going to be trying to facilitate that conversation. Thank you for correcting that. But yeah, we're going to be trying to kind of facilitate that.
So wait, it's just gonna be one problem and different teams will try to solve that one problem?
1 or 2 problems.
Okay, yeah, I think we should still stick with 2.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the
Yeah.
best bet.
Have we decided on the 2 problems?
No.
You know of anyone that's important in this world?
People that we've already gotten
Yeah.
contact with, because I know
Richard?
perhaps my response from Bob Moore
Hey,
was
first, you have someone politely raising their hand.
Hello. So I just wanted to ask if you guys had anybody doing like logo stuff and that, because I'm here until the 17th. So if you want any help.
Larry, you
Yeah.
got it.
I think yes. I can help you with that.
Start working on it now.
Yeah, and if you want to talk, or are you gonna?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I know Nicole Poisson. I can give you her contact information. She's like really artsy and she's done logo stuff for us before, so maybe you guys could.
Yeah.
Or you can continue with the hands.
Yeah, we can just, yeah.
What's this year's sub?
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know, so we can get more like ideas going.
Well, I think that whole subcategory is kind of what we're trying to figure out.
On Saturday.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you just like let me know, or I can meet with you guys and like talk about what you guys want.
If you know anyone that's important and would like to attend on Saturday, you can invite them. You know, I would really like to have someone from the maquiladoras in Mexico.
Just someone.
Like who? Like I can help you with that, because my dad.
Really?
Yeah, knows a lot of people.
If you can, I know
like,
two
who?
people that have someone that they know.
But like, who do you want? Do you
Anyone
want
that,
just, like,
an
a random
owner or an
person?
operator of the maquiladoras. Maquiladoras.
Would you like an accountant too?
What?
An owner and an accountant is pretty good.
Yeah, an owner and an accountant, is that what they are?
We're looking at you, Melinda.
I'm looking at the Twisted Sisters. Yeah, what about getting your papa finally involved? I've never seen the man. I don't believe he exists. I think you're artificially inseminated and your test tube babies. Wow. All right. Let's see if we can get someone. It's real short notice. It's real short notice, and I realize I'm not going to see your father. What?
What are the details for Saturday?
Can we get her an invite?
Yeah.
We can get you an invite. You think you can pull it off? Can you pull it off, man?
Perhaps.
Can you pull it off?
Depends on who you want.
Oh. Anyone.
Send them everyone.
Yeah, all of the maquiladoras gonna come and.
Yeah, but I think it's important. I think we're getting a professor from a university in Mexico right across the borders. So we already have, but the more international play we have in it, buy-in, the more likely we'll get kids from Wyatt. So see what you can do. See what you can do. I'm sorry, I put these people on the spot. I apologize. Ruffling more feathers by the comments I made than the statement that I made at the beginning.
The specific time is 9:30 to 12, and it's going to be here in the same room.
Can you send me the invite too? I can try and get Joyce Wilson, former city manager, CEO of Boulder
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's once again, it's short notice.
It's very short notice.
Very short notice. We reached out to Marcus Delgado and he hasn't responded yet, and I texted him and he hasn't
Do you want
responded.
me to go over this?
Will you?
He's been in Florida for the
Okay,
past few days.
because he went to a bowl game.
Yeah, and he played golf.
Yeah. Just knock on his door and say, have you looked at your email recently? Are you close enough to him that you can do that?
I didn't call Mrs. Delgado.
She's a more reachable person. Is Arabella in town?
She left today.
Oh, love her. I just go and say, hey, I didn't know she left.
Just like call him all.
Okay, see if you can do it, just to see if he read his email. And because he's been in our classroom before and he's actually helped us in different projects. I don't know, I know he's really busy with trying to bring Amazon to El Paso. All right, anything else we need to know about that? You're up, dude.
Okay, so Civics in 60 is basically this new program or mission that we're trying to accomplish, and it's still in the works, and we're still kind of organizing it and seeing how to best execute it. So essentially, we want to use social media to its fullest extent because obviously, as you guys know, even whenever you guys were in it, we didn't really execute our social media very well. We didn't have a strong presence on anything other than whenever we actually have like events going on. So we want to have regularly sent out videos that are basically going to be with different experts from around the community, starting off probably first locally, just because obviously we're based in El Paso, but eventually we want to also expand out to like places that you guys are at. So like we're working with a professor from UTEP, Dr. Curry. He's a poli-sci professor, and he's really advocating for this hashtag Civics in 60. And basically, we want to get people like him, people like Beto O'Rourke, people like T. Margot, other professors, anyone that's involved in the community, basically, to allow us to go meet up with them, record them explaining some sort of civics topic, terminology, some problem that's currently going on in the community, in the nation, whatever it is. And then we're going to edit it down into a short 60-second clip and then post it on social media, so that way eventually you can simply type in or click on the hashtag CivicsIn60 and you'll be sent to a long feed of just tons of educational crash course videos that hopefully if you just watch 2 or 3 of them even, you're going to have gained something out of it. Eventually we want to hopefully make it so, I guess, like such a long feed and so profound of a idea that we can even approach teachers like in the middle schools and see if they'd be willing to use it in some of their lessons. We can set out a pre-made like curriculum for them to follow as far as how they can implement it into their curriculums. And so once again, we want your guys' help to not only give us some ideas on people that we can reach out to, but as well see if you guys would be willing to reach out yourselves to people, whether you're at Rice, whether you're at UT, wherever you are, and get some of the people that you know that you think are active in their communities there to also support.
Guys, this is the challenge I have to the heaven. The last 2 holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, I sent out saying, hey, we need your involvement. This is a great way to get you involved. Think of someone at your university that you can tap into. Go up to that person and interview them. Can we have guidelines for them soon?
Yeah.
We'll have guidelines for you. When is soon?
Saturday.
Saturday. By Saturday, there will be guidelines for you. 2 things. First of all, I want you guys to do one yourself. What it means to be civically involved. Any topic you want. Then I want you to find a professor at the universities you're at. All right. If you want, you can send us the raw materials, because I was told by someone that they know how to edit these raw materials. So you don't even have to edit it. So obviously we're going to you're probably going to have a 5 or a 4-minute interview, because if you don't already know, for those of you in college, professors don't know how to put things briefly. Isn't that right, Russell? They don't know how to They don't know how to put things briefly, so we're going to have to edit them down. So you'll just have questions and you'll be interviewing them. I don't care if you record them on your phone. All right? Some people say, oh, the quality's bad, but it's only going to be out there for 60 seconds. And we'll edit it, and maybe we can enhance it.
Make sure you hold it this way.
Yeah, don't hold it this way, guys. Yeah. All right? We need every one of you to do it yourself, and then find a professor at the university you're at, or a community member at the university you're at. There's 2 people or 3 people that go to school in Washington, D.C. If you can't find someone to interview in that town that wants to say something, just walk down. Oh, here you go. We got a young man, and I don't know if I'm at liberty to say this, but I'm going to say it, that's going to be interning with a PAC or a interest group. Man, those guys will be opinionated. You can get those people to say something. All right? Anyone that's willing to say something. Yes, sir?
I just want to push back a little bit. Do you think that that's a good idea to have partisan input on it? Even political heads input on it?
And I think it's something that you have to consider, because this is a partisan world.
Certainly.
It is. It's I don't know how you can separate parties. We just can't necessarily support. We have to kind of support. I mean, it's
but
something
I
to
think
think
if you
about.
propagate somebody's message, then I think that you would then become part of the. I mean, obviously we're part of a partisan.
But is there any way we can do this without that?
I think so, but I want.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. Thank you for bringing that point out, because you're going to get partisan comments, and how do you weed through them? Yes, ma'am.
I think, well, in the past, what stuff I've tried to retweet onto our Twitter account. Some of it has been partisan, but I mean, I've talked to you about it, just kind of making sure to tell our followers that the things we put out might be partisan, but it doesn't mean we're taking on that opinion. We're just trying to educate the community on different opinions present within our own society.
Maybe we can have
So you just
a
have to have a
hashtag
disclaimer
civics
or
and
something
60
like
on
that.
that very statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that the very mission of what Civics in 60 is since we're trying to basically have a source for people to go to and develop their opinion on these matters, the only way you're going to achieve that is through giving them partisan information. So it's not necessarily that we're taking on a partisan role, we're just simply relaying these thoughts of partisan people, if that makes sense, so that way they can then develop their own opinion.
But you need a clear disclaimer, yes ma'am.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I have 2 suggestions or, I don't know, thoughts. After your video, maybe 60 seconds, leave about maybe 4 seconds just for a wee logo and like nonpartisan, something like that.
The blank is not endorsed.
Yes, something like that. Secondly, I don't know, I think Isabel and Leanna kind of agree with me. Try and make an equal distribution if possible. I don't know, maybe you can even provide like comparison videos, like 30 seconds of maybe people talking about the same topic and like different views. And cut 30 seconds one, 30 seconds. I know it's like cutting it in half of what you wanted and 60 seconds for one person. But I mean, I don't know.
Do we, once we cut these down, do we have to have the person that you interviewed approve of what we cut?
I would imagine
Or at least
so.
like sign
Yeah.
a
Or
waiver.
just maybe sign
I don't think they'll do it if you-
it out for something purposes and I don't know.
That might be something that you have to have ready by Saturday. Yes ma'am.
I was gonna say something, at least show as many sides to an issue as you can. If you are gonna make it partisan, that was just my.
I mean, if you show a Republican opinion one time, make sure it's Democratic and that's,
Yeah.
I don't know,
And do we acknowledge that this, at the beginning, would we acknowledge this person is a Democrat, Republican?
I mean, if you have their name, and like
Kind of like how they do it on like the news, it'll say like Beto O'Rourke D.
Yeah.
Because Beto O'Rourke is partisan, but he's also our congressman. Because someone asked me, when we were trying to get a roundtable, we wanted to send an invite to Beto, and the question was, does that violate our nonpartisan nature? No, because he is the congressman, whether he's a Democrat, he is our representative. All right? Now, it would be a little more sketchy if we brought in Dory Fennenbach or Veronica Escobar, because now they're just political creatures.
I think you just should state their, like occupation.
They should, or title.
Just congressman,
Yeah.
or whatever it may be, county judge, I don't know. but-
Put a D and an R if we have to.
You don't have to,
But I think it depends on what the questions are, right? If you're just asking about like, why should you vote, that's not gonna get a partisan response. If you're asking, do you believe in fracking, you're going to get a very partisan
Yeah.
response. So I think if you're asking nonpartisan questions, it doesn't matter. If you're asking for specific opinions on particularly charged issues, you need to have both opinions in the video.
However,
The other
yes,
point I
yes.
was going to make is I think 60 seconds is a good way to get people hooked in, but it's very reductive. You're not going to get like a very complex or nuanced answer. I think you need to link to other material that fleshes out that 60 seconds, because otherwise you're just giving people like a little soundbite that they can't really do anything with.
Are you making a suggestion that if the video's longer, that we save the full video and make it 3-4 minutes? And just give them the snapshot and then link to?
Yeah.
You could do that, or you could provide some sort of like supplementary written material, like it just needs to be something, because 60 seconds, yes, it's going to like catch people's attention, but you're not, again, you're losing any sort of nuance in the issue you're trying to deal with.
Guys, we want this conversation to continue. This is great. I feel the energy right now, and we do have it on. You did record this.
It's recording.
All right, go ahead, sorry.
I just wanted to say that I think regardless of the structure of Citizen 60, we definitely need to have a like document that basically attests to the fact that we are nonpartisan. We need to hash out, kind of like a cover our butt move, because people are gonna obviously like respond and we're gonna get hate comments if this ever like blows up into something that's like a national or just even state level like wide thing. And we need to be able to show them that from the beginning this was our intent and this is what we are gained from it.
So where do we put this? Do we put this on our
On our website.
On our website? Because we have to have a better website presence anyway, so I think it would definitely work.
Maybe like at the end of like, or like within the like tweet or whatever, like platform, we can say, for more information on Civic 660, you go to this link on our
I'm gonna go to the young man idea.
I do like the idea of having the 60 seconds and then having maybe a link underneath to the full video, because that will get the people's attention, and then if they have any other questions or they want to see deeper into it, it'll be somewhat of a commercial selling off that topic and what they think about it into a deeper conversation.
And if we want to go do that, that's easy to do. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's easy, guys. It's going to take a lot of sacrifice, whatever we do. But if we go on with Megan's idea and we give them supporting resources, this is where the heaven might come into play. All right? They can find the resources because you have access to more resources. You could go up and talk to the professor that you're interviewing and saying, is there any places that you would provide that if they want to find more information on this, they could read this. I don't know how many people are going to do. Remember, most people think that research is just cool.
No, but if you're gonna turn this into a teaching resource,
Yeah,
if that's the intention, you need to have the supplemental material.
Absolutely, and it's just to try to break apathy, get something quick out there so kids are aware of what's going on.
I think it's a really good comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, I don't know who guys, we're gonna get, yes.
Well, just about kind of, as far as I know, as of last, we're kind of hosting everything on YouTube. So there's a YouTube description where we can put, the we fill in the blank is nonpartisan, all that stuff. And while I think as far as the social media output goes, should be the 60 seconds, because that's kind of what the idea was, that it's quick, it gets attention. But on the YouTube channel, we can put, how many ever long videos we want, and or whatever links to stuff, and that can be in the description or whatever. If we keep it on the YouTube, it can just kind of provide like a hub for all this stuff. It's gonna be we're gonna have it hosted on YouTube, and then we're gonna tweet kind of.
Twitter and Instagram, I think.
You tweet it, and it provides the video. So that way, every time someone views it on Twitter, the view is still logged under YouTube. So that way, we have a central source where everything goes.
And this idea, and Megan, I love Megan, and she did it when she was in high school. She's keeping me on task, which is great, because we need to stay on task. Guys, this is our new main thing with outside of Borderize. Borderize is our big thing, but this is going to educate people really quickly. So I'm going to continue. She's giving me the 4-minute warning or the 8-minute warning. Guys, we can go a lot longer with this as long as the ideas are constructive and I'm not just throwing out crap. So, yes, ma'am.
I think that it would be important if on the website we also embedded the videos into the website and also provided a bio and a picture of the person that we are interviewing, just so that we have a database of professionals that we fill in the blank is involved with. So if it looks like, oh, we fill in the blank is involved with these professors at these like elite universities, it gives us more legitimacy, and it also provides a database of information. We can have a short bio of whoever's speaking, like professor of globalization and poverty at blank university. Studied at this place, does this now. Email, phone number, contact information. So if you're interested in getting in contact with them, then you can do that.
Absolutely. And even if we just do, because eventually it will just go to the man in the street too, or the woman in the street, or the kid in the high school or whatever. And we just say, hey, they're a high school student. And the idea is that you're trying to break apathy. This whole town survives on this perpetual apathetical movement. And it's so deeply embedded in our culture. It is. I sit there and say, gosh, why would Amazon want to come here? Our workforce is apathetical. And the fact that you guys are tackling this project, God, this is huge. This is huge. I'm just going to go around in this circle. Sorry, dude. Yes, ma'am.
Really, really quickly, is everyone okay if I attach like our YouTube channel URL to all our social media? Is that okay?
Yeah, what do we have currently attached to the
It's just the website.
Isn't our YouTube linked to our website?
Yeah,
I don't know,
I
I
think we
just,
should just keep the website.
But Instagram has a new thing where it shows the, like, each link is like a separate clickable bubble.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just wanna make it more like
Well,
available,
maybe just on our Instagram.
just on the Instagram.
Yeah, because on Twitter you only have one event.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched the Mickey Crawley interview, Lowry Crawley.
I was like,
Lowry.
Is that your fourth brother?
Yeah, Lowry. If you haven't watched it, we gave her 6 questions. She's the new person that represents Coronado on the school board. We gave her 6 questions. She spent a total of 6 minutes and 35 seconds to answer all the questions. And she even answered, because one, you had a multiple choice which one you wanted to talk about. She talked about 2 of the topics. So that means she's not a very true politician if she can't talk more than a minute on each question. You know, that would just get people rolling. We were wondering if it was gonna be too long to actually air the interview, but geez, wow. Wow, it's cool, yes.
This might be kind of premature, but how, like, at what kind of rate are you like foreseeing generating videos? Because you keep saying like, oh, we're gonna get this information out like super quickly, but we also want to make sure we're doing our like due diligence.
Yeah, so basically, Dr. Curry suggested this, and I think it's a good idea, is rather than just like starting off like week 1 with 1 video, for example, to accumulate like at least like 10, and then release all of them at the same time, so that way like there's some meat to it before, and like, people don't go and be like, what is this, like 1 video? And then after that first pod of videos that we release, then we can determine if we want to do it once a week, once every 2 weeks, how consistent we want to release them. I think once a week would be great, because then we can really accumulate a long source of videos. Now that's going to require more work on all of our parts, just to make sure that we have videos to send out. But ideally, if we once a week, we'd be adding to that original plot of videos.
I guess I'm just like concerned about like how fast this timeline is, especially if we're going to talk about like very like nuanced topics, and then just essentially making sure that we're not like speaking for communities that we do not represent or we're not part of. And I just feel like that process is
I
going
feel
to
like
be.
picking the questions is gonna be tough, just because like if you're talking about gentrification, like gentrification in El Paso is totally different than gentrification in Boston. If you have me asking a professor about gentrification, it's gonna be like, you have to find something that's balanced, like, that even someone who's not from the area is just be relatable.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, this is just kind of a technicality, not really developing it, but if anyone's really good with the digital design, I think it would be neat to have like a title screen for Civics in 60, just something kind of to flash on at the beginning or the end of the video, just to get the point across, I guess. Just something we can have continuous in every video.
Now, seriously, are you recording all these ideas? Cool deal.
I just wanted to ask about whether it's kind of going to be more open to what the professor or the individual wants to speak about, rather than like posing everybody with questions that are like agreed upon beforehand. Because if you're going to give, for example, I have a professor who specializes in like orders and gender and etc. So if you're going to ask them about just like civic engagement and what their definition of it is, you can develop a topic of it, have the 60-minute video be like an introduction,
60
and then
second.
60-second video be an introduction, and then have the follow-up.
Tell her to respond.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I have a doctor's appointment, but keep up the good work.
Tell him to respond.
Yeah, I'll tell my mom to respond.
Yeah, thank you.
But yeah, so have that be like the introduction of the topic relating to civic engagement, the introductory 60-second video, and then have the other follow-up videos be kind of like breaking down whatever topic they're discussing. So I don't know if that's like something you'd like to consider.
We need to have it clear.
Alana, maybe before you leave, we can actually work with you for like the animation idea that Katrina was talking about. We can like integrate like with the logo with like some sort of like 60.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love that.
Okay. Just if you want to have that like sort of nuance, like complex aspect of it, you could have like Q&A also, like as a conversation on social media, like on Twitter or whatever.
that way you can leave what you think or something like that to start a conversation. That way there's more content to read and engage with. And I think if you really want it to be an educational tool, having it pick up like around testing season, like AP test season or like IB, like if your teacher isn't great or left or something, you have to turn to. And I feel like that's when it's gonna pick up, honestly. So if you want to do a crash course and want to be like about that, yeah, you could make sure it's up by then and have substantial content for them to use by then.
I like the idea. There's still a lot of munchies back there if you want to grab stuff to eat. Some of the stuff is homemade, some store bought. There's great puppy chow there that's just delicious. You should try it. Don't want to bring any of it home with me. Yes, sir. You've been very patient, young man. Not quite as patient as you have.
So I think the end goal is, well, not the end goal, but the eventual goal is to get it to become some kind of education tool for middle schoolers or high schoolers. Have you tried, have you considered doing it region and need to develop the questions from the get-go so that you don't have it, so from the ground up you know what direction to, what questions to ask, what specific material you need from the community members or what they specifically need to talk about so that, you know, we have some great material and it's all.
Or do you just find a teacher and they're working hard? Because we tried last year at that grade level. Over the summer, I sent out a challenge to the current members for Constitutional Day, getting it down to the elementary schools. My daughter is a third grade teacher, and I said, how would you sell it to a third grader? And she goes, third graders don't even know what the Constitution is. So obviously, you're gonna have to determine what you're targeting that video at. Are you targeting at the high school students that are about to go in for an AP exam? Are you targeting at middle school kids or elementary kids? Or are you targeting at all the weirdos that are out there that go out and vote because they're gonna build a wall on the border and then they check yes to things that they know nothing about?
Right, so like what is your target audience?
Right, so we gotta decide what our target audience is. And then we need to get experts from that area.
Right, because that determines the level of complexity we ask the questions at.
Yeah.
And so like professors will have to either not dump their answers out, but you know, explain it in simple terms.
Is this going on the drive? Oh man, I love you. Yes.
So I have 3 quick suggestions. One is that y'all should have like a theme song in addition to the logo. It's just quiet. I like
that. What? Okay, that was one. Wow.
Second one is, it sounds like y'all are already kind of doing this with your currently numbers. I would have like 2 kind of committees, one for like debates and one for this idea, because it's a really awesome idea, but it'll be a lot of y'all all try to work on it. So I would try to specialize a little bit.
Give a team.
And then like the topics are decided. For We Have It, gives each We Have in person a different topic. That way we have more variety.
When I can say, you need to decide, the tools that you're talking about are in conflict with one another. If you want it to be, either you want it to just be like a fun set of videos that anyone can just jump on and watch or whatever, and then it can be about anything. If you want to be educational, you need a grid. You need to set out from the beginning saying, these are the topics we want to cover, these are the particular things you want to make sure is included in each video, these are the materials you need to provide it. You need to know what kind of, so people know how to. Is this a fun thing just for someone, wandering across the internet, or is it intended to actually be a learning tool in a class group, which is going to look very different? Which means then you don't just want to develop questions. I don't think you're at the point where you want to develop questions, but you're at the point where you need to pick an audience, and then you need to pick what is an outline of a curriculum. What are the topics we're trying to cover? Are there like certain themes that we want to maybe group together? Are there units or what I mean? You need to have some outline. You can't just slapdash into this if the goal is to say present a
Can we hit many different targets, or do we just go after just one?
I think it's easier on your end to go out and do one because educational levels are so different. You can't make a video that works for both middle schoolers and high schoolers.
But don't go on the way.
Yeah.
Let's not do both right away.
Yes.
When we're talking about our target audience, like I feel like the goal of Youth on the Blank in the beginning has always been like to empower the youth in politics. And to be honest, like I think it would be better for us, like staying true to our mission and what our original goals were, to not get so caught up in this like using as a tool for middle schoolers and more of like I mean, it's gonna be on Twitter. Like middle schoolers really aren't going to look up hashtag civics in 60 because they want to like for fun. That's when you start getting into like maybe juniors, seniors in high school that are becoming more politically aware. So if you're gonna pick a target audience, then I think that it would be easier on your part and more effective if you're going to be using it in the way that I think that you're going to be using it. I might not be understanding it correctly, but I think that would be best. And also, I feel that although it is necessary to pick a target audience, I think there definitely can be overlap to where it can be fun and it can be like for the weirdos of the internet, but still be extremely educational. And I think that structure that we were talking about earlier is necessary. Like you need to pick the questions, pick the topics, but don't get too bogged down into like it being a teaching tool. Make it fun, make it interesting, and the fact that it's a teaching tool is going to follow that. Because if it gets too boring, if it gets too schooly, no one's ever going to watch it. And that's what we want to prevent. And I think that's what's been happening with a lot of our social media is that it's too directed at adults. And maybe it's because all of us, like, we like to think that we're like intellectuals and we're special and we're intelligent or whatever, but we need to like bring it down or start to like speak more colloquially about the things that we're doing, or just make it more appealing. Because I feel like if that's what I'm understanding it correctly, like the purpose is to make it fun and to like make it interesting, to make it snazzy. And that's what we're doing like the theme song and the thingy. So I think that there can be overlap in the audiences, but never lose sight of like the true audiences. I feel like We From a Blank confuses itself in trying to gain legitimacy. And our mission as We From a Blank shouldn't be to try to go up to reach the level of legitimacy that adults feel that they can give us if we act like adults. Sure, we should be professional, but it should be to bring them down to realize that high school students can be legitimate without being adults. So why are we trying to be adults when people should be wanting to work with us because we're high school students? So that's like, I think that's important.
Yes.
I'm just going to say a couple of quick things. Totally agree with all of that. I think it's important to recognize that if we want our target audience to be the youth, then we just really have to be mainly legitimate to the youth. So as long as they think we're legitimate and as long as we're talking about issues and topics that they find to be important and relevant, then I think that we can attract their attention, which to the point of like not like having it still appeal to the youth but still be instructional and trying to navigate that balance. I think that it would be cool and important to, like, with these supportive links, have a description or like information about what's going on in terms of like the links being relevant to current topics today. So if one of the issues is gentrification, there are so many current events and like articles about gentrification that I think would be really cool to like link that on the bottom to be like, hey, this is currently affecting people in these ways, and having very tangible examples of how this is happening in the real world. So I'm kind of thinking, like, I don't know what design stuff y'all were talking about, and I know nothing about design, but if it's going on the website, I think it would be pretty cool to have like it kind of follow a student newspaper style in like universities where it's this specific topic is by so-and-so person, and then you have the video, and then you have these supportive links that talk about the current event topics as well. And then maybe the student, whoever, like whichever one of us takes on this one specific topic, maybe we can do like a quick summary of what that event is and have it like integrated to be like a whole in-depth, really relevant discussion on a specific topic. And if we can, like maybe have a comment thread underneath too so people can talk about it. But just really like having each one of us, whenever we take a video, like take on the project and, to Mr. Bergman's point, like really research that topic to be like, hey, this is how this is related to you and this is why it's important.
There's just a comment, and then I'm going to go here now. This is going to have to take sacrifice from the current members, and a little sacrifice from the we haven't. If they're willing to provide, if they're willing to say, hey, I'm willing to have you reach out to me, and I will help you. Man, there is so much talent in this room right now. Seriously, I can't say how exciting it is to get you all together, and I hope we can do this every year at this time, bringing the we haven't back, and if we don't want to use the word haven't, I can say cloud, it was called the cloud. I think you're more heavenly than cloudy. Some of you are more cloudy perhaps. But the ideas that were generated here, the sacrifice is huge, guys. We're talking this grade. I'm looking at what is being written on the doc from these ideas. The sacrifice is huge. And we can sit here and talk this in the room. Going out and actually doing it's going to be tough. It is. It's a huge project. If this makes Vorterize look very small in terms of the amount of sacrifice by the students. Yes, and then we'll get 2 more ideas. Do you guys need to be validated?
No, we spent 30 minutes looking for parking and we found some.
Thanks for coming, love you.
So, in terms of like organization, I do definitely agree with you. I agree that we definitely have to have our stuff written out in a presentable form to like show our neighbors that effectively what our goal is and what we're trying to get out of this basically. But at the same time, if we have like a professor or an expert who has a particular like expertise in a certain field that we might think is valuable to like bring in, should we not like create a question and then instead ask him or her to present it there?
Examples such as?
I don't know, like if we
Like the specialist in like
gentrification.
Okay, okay.
So like, should we reach out to him or her and be like, would you be willing to talk about this issue that we?
Are we going away from? My question is, and then what I'm seeing, are we going more to video pods, learning deals, than quick, exciting? We just want to get the message out real quickly because we could have pods. Like video podcast, not audio podcast, video podcast, where a person could sit there and talk about this because some of these professors, some of these people that these guys are knowing, they would love to rant for 45 minutes.
Well, that's okay. Every single professor you talk to is going to have a very specific, like, little niche thing that they're interested in that they do.
And they could just go.
And they can go on and on and on. You gotta decide, like, do you just want, but they're also trained to be in a classroom and talk in more generalities to their students. You have to decide what you wanna ask them to do. But every single person you're gonna talk to is gonna have a very little niche research area.
And they're willing to probably.
They'll go on and on.
They'll go on and on, and if they think that they can have a venue for it, I think they would love that.
Yeah.
But I mean, are we talking quick things, or are we talking
I think
in depth?
my understanding for what I think Connor was saying earlier was that we would have doesn't necessarily have to be 60 seconds like on YouTube, but it could be like 3 minutes or something, or something short, definitely under like 5 minutes. And then when you link it to Twitter, it would be presented. You would have a snippet. Yeah, you would have a snippet of 60 seconds. I don't know how that's going to be programmed because I don't have expertise in that, but
Someday,
I think it is possible.
Yeah. Someday we're gonna have to, the heavens given us a lot of ideas. Someday we're gonna have to sit over at Whole Foods until we find a better location.
on like YouTube, like on your page, you can have like different, I don't remember the term for it, but like different like channels within your channels. So you can have one that's like Civics in 60, like the 60-second footage.
All right.
And then another one that's like the raw footage. That's
Yeah.
like more in depth.
All right, absolutely,
Like so you can like pick it on.
absolutely. Dude.
All right, quick, two, 3 things. I think we should get a new website. And like, not a Wix, not a Weebly, not a WordPress, none of that. I think professional. How much money do we have in
That's a great question. How much money do we have?
No, because I think we have spent enough, if we want to develop.
I want to table that for the next agenda item, which is new ideas.
We still don't
So
have
we can just focus on the 60 second whatever.
Fair enough.
We got it?
All right. So,
All right.
Okay.
Guys, let's go with the new ideas. What do we do about the webpage?
Wait, did you have any more comments on the 60 seconds?
Did I think I did. Hold on. So, okay, I think we should, I think it's obvious, I'm gonna just move on.
Okay, next agenda item is new ideas. We are tabling 60-second thing. We new people, that's your problem now. New ideas.
Good luck.
All right.
Yeah.
Now you can talk about the website.
Talk about the website.
All right, yeah, no, I mean, it's all fine and dandy to have like a blog style website, and that's what WordPress is.
Yeah.
But for our purposes, for in terms of outreaching, in terms of first impressions, I think we need a professional website.
Are you talking that we pay a professional to build this for us?
Yes.
Or are we-
And give tools so that we can edit it, so that it's just not, we're not relying on.
And how much does something like that cost?
Couple thousand.
Yeah.
Depends on like.
And so you want something that's like what Myra was saying in terms of like the student newsletter style, where you can have the video when you have a student do something in the links, a student provides a summary on a topic and links. This is also on YouTube, so you have all the 60-second stuff going on. You also have the raw footage.
Have you all tried Squarespace though?
Maybe it's just, but it has to. The website has to change. The format is not going to help you expand.
And it has to allow us, because
it has to have versatility in terms of editing, because the one we have right now is not versatile
It's
at
so
all.
hard to edit.
It's not versatile. Yeah, I know.
It's like
Squarespace might be
Hold on.
something.
I don't
let's
think
go around this way, yeah.
$1,000.
Right, that's of course, I agree. But
Is it,
I think it's a good investment that's gonna last us years and years and years.
is there, I don't know if a high school's student's capable of doing it. Does anyone know of anyone at your colleges that would be capable of doing that?
Shield. Have you seen Shield's website?
his resume.
Shield's website is.
Would he help us?
We can work on it.
Who is we, child?
Probably.
Because I think that would be a tough sell.
Yeah, I'll come into Boston.
We'll come into
make
Boston, we'll
it
take us to
work.
dinner.
Okay,
You know,
do we have any more comments about websites, internet presence?
You had your hand up. Let's go here. You had your hand up.
I was just gonna second Squarespace. I think it'd be, yeah, I think it'd just be a good, it'd be a cheaper version of.
But it looks more professional than
Yeah.
WordPress. You have a comment?
Right, if anything, before we resort to, like, paying up people or professionals, we can use the talent that we have in this room to create mock-ups for anybody who's interested, and have them be reviewed. If anything by professionals, I feel like that would be a cheaper alternative. They could provide suggestions. Or, I mean, there's wonderful platforms that, like Squarespace, that look just professional.
Speaking of websites, if y'all are gonna continue to do a newsletter, you cannot send it as an attached PDF. No one will read it. I don't read it. And
How do you send it?
you need to get there are different newsletter platforms where you can send a newsletter in the body of the email. So when you open it up, it's there. Sending it as a PDF looks unprofessional and it doesn't work. So you need to invest in that, in one of those platforms. There are a lot of them that make it very easy, and you can send email directly from the software program, but no more PDF attached, please.
All right. The next one should be coming out fairly soon. Yes.
I just wanted to ask about the project that I have been working on with Ziad and Ileana for a little bit on the Inside Insights thing, and whether that was gonna continue.
Ziad really wants us, I think he had a tough semester. I don't know if I could say that. He was busy. I think your first semester at college, you kind of develop what you need to do to maintain what you want to achieve there.
Right.
So I think he was struggling a little bit. I talked to him personally, face to face, and then he's actually given me a one-page pitch that I will put up on our drive. And maybe we should put up on our website, whatever that looks like in the next few months.
Yeah, because what we had talked about was like writing different kind of like articles and like introductions to different like political topics.
Yeah.
And we talked about like the first topic that we were gonna discuss, and I have that still. And I also have the mock-ups for the logos of it.
Yeah,
So,
he got bogged down in the development of an app
yeah, that's what he wanted to do.
yeah, that's what he was really excited about. His app kind of worked, but I think app development is tough. Maybe Sheila could do that too. But we need to find out. We can't spend a lot of money by putting this out to a professional. But someone's gonna have to be willing to give the sacrifice, and I think some people might be willing to do that. Shield might be willing to do it. I don't know how much he.
Yeah, we
he-
sent him a message.
I-
Maybe if we throw
yeah.
like a 30 under the table.
A 30
Okay, we got
30 gallon, guys. Eddie, yeah.
So a new idea, and I was gonna talk to you about this fairly, but I guess this is a good.
But we can talk
forum
about
to do
it.
it.
Because I'm not doing nothing on Thursday.
A buddy of mine last semester and I, we came up with this idea of coming up with like a news publication or just like a written copy of having professors or professionals in their area of study debate essentially a topic,
Alright.
and then have it as a line item, like like two different columns, and you have both sides right there. And it can't go over, the agreement that we had was 900 words.
Alright.
So it's quick, or relatively quick, and to the point, but it's professionals, like academics, professors, or like professional scholars in their field.
And the We Heaven has a lot of access to the professionals.
Right,
If they
right.
weren't happy to do it all the time, it'd be sort of like this.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be an all-the-time thing, it would be like a one-time occasion to do it. And I think if, to your point, there should be a little bit more substance behind the 60-second videos. I don't know if that could be something attached to this project that you're trying to undergo, but I think it would be a good way to not just have like a quick soundbite of an issue, but really get in the meat and substance of an issue.
And that would be for a higher level.
Exactly. So I
educated.
think that could be then
High
two different
school,
audiences.
college, high
Right.
school, college.
Right.
Any other ideas, guys? Yes.
Well, I just have a question on like what's our status with like, I mean, not only our fund, like our general fund, but also like, I guess, since we got like a lot of, well, I guess since we did get a lot of like different new sponsors last year, I think, I don't know, have we kept in touch with like that professional connection? I think it's important.
Yeah, I've
And
sent
what's
a
the
lot of
update on that?
emails and gotten no responses. As far as, like, I basically made a sponsor list from all of the people who sponsored us in the past, and I've sent out multiple emails. I haven't really gotten good responses.
I think you have to call.
Yeah.
Also, it depends, like,
Yeah.
like which people have you been contacting? Because I think it's important to contact the people we were in contact before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know, like, I probably can't name them all off the top of my head, but I've already contacted, like, the Hunt Foundation, a lot of people that had, donated, like, continuously instead of just once.
I think y'all need, as going forward, as this grows, y'all need to have a dedicated person in doing outreach and fundraising. And that person needs to then introduce the next, it's all about personal relationships when you're fundraising. You need to have a dedicated person who's the face of the organization for that, and then introducing the next person who's taking on the job and saying like this, literally taking them into meetings with you and saying, hello, Mr. Foster, this is the person taking over for me, they'll be in contact with you now. You have to do that face-on-face time.
Yeah.
Or else they're not gonna give you money.
I agree, and as far as like the status we have, we're not broke. We have a surplus from last year essentially. We still have about $6,000.
More than we had. We had zero. Any more new ideas?
Y'all gonna blow $4,000 on the website.
Comments, questions, concerns, closing remarks.
I think there's something you need to think about how to attract people to your cities in 60, because people are not going to be seeking it out. There's not a lot of there isn't a wide audience out there seeking it out unless it's like AP tests, the week before AP tests or something like that. So in terms of that too, the fun part that was mentioned earlier, that needs to be at the forefront of your mind. So when you're thinking about it, it has to be attractive, it has to be colorful.
It's like I would particularly look at the, you know, like the Now This videos. Those I think would be a good template to like look at. So I mean, I stopped and I watched that movie for like a minute and a half because they're like intriguing.
Yes, ma'am.
So one thing that we probably don't have enough time to discuss now is now that you're not here, because I know you did a lot of the recruitment for Lee.
Oh, yeah.
How that's going to continue, and now especially that you're not associated with Coronado, I think it's an awesome opportunity to expand beyond Coronado, and especially since we're moving now in this space, so I do.
Well, yeah, just on that topic, me and Russell do lots with, I mean, we have our own outreach committee that's a work in progress right now as far as going off campus. We will, first whenever we go to any like neighborhood summit, there's lots of students that go to those and tell us they're interested. So we're kind of like in the process of, you know, trying to go with that without biting off more than we can chew. Like we don't want to go all in and then kind of just lose that, I guess, sense of control that there is. And also I think, at least for myself, with as far as getting students at Coronado, if there's a student I know that I know will like this, I usually tell them to come to the meeting. And I think lots of people do a good job of going on that personal level of getting people. I don't know if it's on a scale of as useful as Mr. Berglund is, where he gets, you know, classrooms full, but I think we're able to get, you know, 1 or 2 students, you know, and then just kind of building from there. And there is off campus, it's just kind of a work in progress.
Right. So I guess off of Connor's point, I think that this is like marks like a super big transition for me, at least today.
Just a little bit.
Like this is a grand transition, and
Scared the hell out of
see
me.
2 really big issues that we've already touched upon, but I think we have to like revisit like before we leave, obviously. And one is communication, because you can't just send like 90 texts. And I'm not like trying to ruffle some feathers like that. But we need to have some sort of you know, communication that way that.
What is that communication?
I don't know, but it needs to be researched. We have to figure that out soon, because we don't. Because here's the thing, like the way I figured out like about everything that's going on in meetings, so on and so forth, was meeting up with you at 7 a.m. every single morning with Ileana every single day, every single like week. And so like that's how I like got news. But now that that's not going to be,
Y'all need to
we
be,
have to have meetings.
you need to be sending out weekly emails saying this, weekly updates to all your members.
But is email the best way to do it? Is email the best way to do it? Yes, we're gonna go around real quickly, guys. Let's make them quick. We got 10 minutes.
Emails are effective. GroupMe obviously isn't what you guys are gonna do, but you guys have to do it another shot, and that's what you're going to it. We somehow managed to sort of get together with that, so make it better and actually just pay attention to it. Don't ignore it. Don't send individual messages, because that doesn't get, you're not gonna be doing it anymore, never mind. But that didn't work so well, I don't think. I think some things were just kind of like some people didn't show up because they didn't know, and it was just a lot of miscommunication. I don't know if WhatsApp works better for you guys. If that's the thing, then go for that. I know a lot of people have WhatsApp, but just get it together and actually communicate, because you can't just be expecting individual text messages from certain groups, and it's not gonna work out that way. But
And that's just on my phone right now.
Yeah, I agree with the WhatsApp idea, because I think we need to have a way of communication where members can communicate with each other, not just through you, Mr. Berglund. And then also for our YouTube channel, we have 3 subscribers. So if yeah, so if you can just like subscribe, and then also I've been trying to get out, like, attach our YouTube channel to all our social media, but that isn't really working out, just because the social media only allows like 1 website. So we just need to really advertise our YouTube channel, because that's where we're getting all our meetings posted, all like our civics and 60. That we just need to get that advertised.
I mean, yes, absolutely. Real quick.
I just really quickly want to pitch Slack as a communication. Like a lot of college organizations use it, as well as a lot of companies, and then you can like, there's like a general area, like general threads where everyone can talk about whatever, and then you can also specify like this like thread is only, we're only going to talk about border rights, we're only going to talk about like civics.
Because I think we need a weekly update.
What I'm gonna say, as someone who has managed some large student organizations, it doesn't matter what platform you use. You just need to, Slack works group message works. What matters is having discipline.
Yeah.
And informing your members, email, I don't care. You need to tell them, check your freaking email, right? That's what it comes down to.
There's
It's
not gonna be a perfect platform. I just kind of want to call on all the members, like, you're here, you want to help, and there's obviously a lot on your guys' plates right now, but it's not going to work unless you check your email, you pick up the phone, like, you take action. Like, this is your group now, and it's up to you for things to get done. And if it's just floating in a text message, in a group meet, it's not gonna happen unless, like, you take ownership in it and get it done. So just kind of thanking you for being here and being part of this organization, but it's up to you to carry it on. If you wanna have it.
I've noticed in the past couple of years, like, runs on the bystander effect. Like, we see a text in the group chat and it's like, we need to get this done, and since it's a big group, everyone's like, oh, someone else is gonna do it, someone else is gonna do it. It's like the bystander effect.
Paradox of collective action if you study poli sci.
Well, I'm a psych major, so I say bystander effects, but, you guys,
Freeloader.
you just need to, like,
That was like a
just take initiative and take action.
Guys, anyone that has a card, pass it to Liana, she'll go get them all validated.
I love that we're discussing.
What?
Yeah, you really kept that going.
I did that.
But I love you very much. Do you want me to go with you?
No, it's okay.
Go with her, go with
I'll
her.
go with you because, oh my god.
Anyone else? Here's another one. Here's another one. Guys,
over there in a
make
second.
sure-
I'll go with you, because I'm curious.
Well, then you parking tickets, any other closing thoughts?
Yeah.
I talked to Shield, he says he can bring a website to you by Thursday.
Wow.
Wow, now you have a website,
Watch it
great.
be like a
Action item,
He
yeah.
said he
Yeah.
can take it and I'll bring it
So use
Thursday,
Boost
if you guys need to change it or adapt it.
Thursday we'll be up in
Yeah.
Thursday we'll be up in Whole Foods.
So is that okay if we crash the meeting?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
That's exciting.
He just says he can.
What was that community service?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So y'all need new folks, encourage folks.
Guys, have
to
some
be on
munchies.
this whole-
Take
We're
a
meeting on
plate of
Thursday at
munchies
Whole
with you.
Foods. Thursday, Whole Foods, 4 o'clock?
Yeah.
The upper level. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Oh, this sounds
Ma'am?
Oh, man. Great hat.
Cool, well, then I would like
South
to
Dakota
say,
State University, man.
Dude, I've always saying.
then
Miles
I,
north of Old Yes, yes, I always did before.
well, listen, I would like to say I'm old and grumpy, and I really love seeing how much, like, enthusiasm y'all folks who are here have. And as I've always said before, we're all old, the advent or whatever, we're old. Y'all need to take what we said as advice, not like to gospel. We don't always know what's right, and it's up for you to like take all of this shit that we've thrown at you and decide what's useful and what's not. We're being recorded, aren't we?
Yeah.
Decide what's useful, not, and at the end of the day, make this your own. We don't have any ownership of this anymore. This is yours to do with what you feel is right. So don't let us dictate your next move.
However, they have insight.
We have insight, sure, whatever.
Wisdom.
And thank you for letting us be here. We really do appreciate getting to still be involved with something I know we all love doing. So, y'all rock.
Eat.
Eat, food, leave.
Where are you guys gonna be on campus now?
Nowhere on campus.
Nowhere, like just like chilling and
Whole
like.
Foods, run
Oh, we
Whole
all
Foods.
just decided to show up in this various classrooms at the exact same time. What a coincidence. Is that reason?
I don't know. I don't know how much I'm gonna be welcomed on campus once
Well, not you, but.
once I roll my shopping cart up.
Yeah, Mr. Burns, you got it.
Yeah.
Can we please keep the calendar
Is that
updated?
lunch?
Because I literally had no idea we had a debate this month, like, no idea.
Yeah,
Brand new
guys,
information
guys,
to me.
the biggest problem, right now, the biggest problem is we don't communicate. And that's always been our problem. If anyone can solve that, we need to solve that now.
I would be happy to take on some sort of like bi-weekly or monthly communications where we have been,
Alright.
whatever. If one of the current folks is willing to share with me everybody's email addresses and then send me updates of things you think the alumni need to know, or the ways that we can help you, I would be more than happy to do that.
Did
Yeah.
everyone get that? You see what she's, wow, that's a huge sacrifice,
Yeah,
man.
whatever.
Gosh,
I'm waiting.
guys, who they send it to?
Does anyone on this side need?
I need one.
What?
I don't want to pay $25.
Mine said ten
Also,
fifty-three
Brandon,
on
can
it.
I be added onto the blank mailing list? Because I asked you several times and you ignored me. I didn't even know you
I think it matters.
I need
So we gotta fix it, yes.
I sent you a text, I was like, I'm so pleasant, please add me, and then like silence. And I was like, wow.
Silence does not mean no. Everyone got theirs validated?
Wow.
Guys, excellent. Can we send it?
Yeah, send me email, send me all the emails, tell me how often you want it to go out, and send me updates.
Can you
Like,
text
I-
me your email address and I'll text everyone here?
Like, I personally would love to know when y'all debates are and when they're live streamed so I can watch them. So if we can send out updates like that, so that everyone can stay in the know.
Cool deal. So we're gonna put you in charge of that? I love you, man.
You might want to look into something called Boomerang, which schedules emails, and you can like already have emails ready and just tell them.
Guys, love you. Take food with you, and leave.
Wait, how long do we have? Further. How long do we have?
I don't think they're gonna run us off too much.
For this? I'm gonna ask yeah, because I want to know.
Thursday, any day.
It's okay.
Computer science is not.
I'm like asking everyone to like please come so that I can like publish you guys like
Are you quitting